This man is a fraud, a phony, a huckster, a shyster. He is a liar. The picture you're looking at is Pastor Mark Burns. This guy got busted lying about his history. He claimed that he did all this time in the National Guard. That was a lie. He did do some time in the, I guess, state National Guard, but it wasn't the real National Guard, the state militia or whatever it was. And he didn't even do all the time that he said he did. He claims he was a Kappa. He was never a Kappa. He claims he has a degree from a South Carolina University. He attended one semester. He claims he has a master's degree from a seminary university. That was a lie. This guy is nothing but one great big lie. Now, I gotta tell you, I was listening to him when he comes on, or when he came on TV, and just the way he spoke didn't really impress me. I mean, he apparently had some kind of theological training, especially in speaking, but some of the grammatical mistakes that he made in speaking kind of troubled me. But you know, some people can be the smartest people in the world, and their prowess in speaking isn't that great. So you know, I kind of shined it on. But now that he's busted, he's crying mea culpa and saying that the press is going after him because he's a black man supporting Donald Trump. No, the press is going after you because you lied, dummy. Now, he tweeted out something, I guess, earlier today, thanking God because God is a forgiving God. Well, yeah, God is definitely a forgiving God, but when you jump into the political sphere, that forgiveness, that ain't going to be there. And especially with all the attacks that you have shot out there on Hillary Clinton, and I'm no Clinton fan, but don't seem like you were too forgiving with some of the stuff that you know, is in her past. So what goes around comes around, and we possibly have seen the last of your ass, because one thing about Trump, he says he doesn't like losers, and based on what went down today, you sound like a loser, and that's probably why you weren't sitting in that church next to Omarosa and Darrell Scott with Donald Trump in the house. Good night, Pastor Burns.
And I want to declare to the whole world and to the Republican Party that under Donald Trump and under a Donald Trump administration, all lives matter.
Welcome back to AM Joy. Pastor Mark Burns has been a prominent surrogate for Donald Trump, especially when it comes to defending the candidate from accusations of racism. But Burns also may become a problem for Trump. He released a statement yesterday acknowledging that he, quote, overstated several details of my biography. That was wrong. I wasn't truthful then, and I wasn't truthful then, and I have to take full responsibility for my actions, unquote.
He straight out lied. He wasn't overstatements. He straight out lied, and he got busted. And as a matter of fact, yeah, Joy is right. He got busted on CNN on live television.
Well, He added, "I do also want to set the record straight about why this attack is happening, because I am a black man supporting Donald Trump for president." Marie and Robert are still with us and joining the fun. Washington Post reporter Philip Bump and National Republican strategist Caton Dawson. And Caton, I want to come to you first on this subject because you happen to hail from the great state of South Carolina, where there are not one, but more than one non-white Republican prominent office holders, to include the governor, Nikki Haley, who is Indian American, and to include Tim Scott, who is one of only two African American senators. They are not, neither of them, out supporting Donald Trump. Is that unusual, not to have prominent elected officials like that who could theoretically help Trump with non-white voters not helping him?
It is unusual, especially from South Carolina.
All right, I want to jump to the final comments about Scott. I don't need to go into Nikki Haley or Tim Scott, so bear with me for a second. All right, and here's basically one of the final comments about Pastor Burns.
And I want to go to Pastor Burns for a second because I think this is really important. I was in the convention hall in Cleveland when he had that very fiery speech. He spoke very eloquently and very passionately about how Hillary Clinton was a quote-unquote liar. His words, not mine. But what's interesting about Pastor Burns' background, my understanding is that he was disingenuous to Kappa Alpha Psi. He was disingenuous in the black fraternity.
Yeah.
He was disingenuous with his military record. He was disingenuous with going and getting a master's degree at some seminary school. He was disingenuous on so many different levels. So you got to be very careful when you throw a boulder from a glass house. But back to your question, Joe Watkins is absolutely right.
All right, so that's pretty much it on Pastor Burns. There's a saying that I heard, and I think it's biblical, but I'm not really sure. But I'm going to put it forth anyway. The saying is, don't let a preacher that's going to hell bring you along for the ride. And every time I see people like Pastor Burns and Darrell Scott and Omarosa and a few others, that saying consistently pops into my mind, and I really think it's my inner sense talking to me, telling me, do not follow these fools because they will take you to hell right along with them. And I think that the proof is in the pudding, especially today with Pastor Burns being outed for a liar and the phony that he is.